Hey, good morning, guys. Genevieve here. It is Sunday, October the 5th, and I am here to talk to you about our full moon in Aries, which is occurring about 36 hours from now, tomorrow evening, so Monday night, actually late, right before midnight, 11:48 p.m. Eastern Time. This is also, we're still in eclipse season, so we are going to feel the extra intensity of the eclipse, just kind of making this full moon more intense, which is also going to be a little bit more draining for on all of our energies and emotions a little bit. Okay, so, and once again, I am going to try to keep this as concise and brief as possible. I always go a little bit over time that I expect to, but it is a lot of information to pack into a short video. And so for those of you who do still, watch my videos and, interact with my content and or get something from it, I really do appreciate you guys. Keep following along. And again, I share this as overall energy surrounding the full moon, which is going to feel a little bit different for everybody depending on where your planetary placements are. So keep that in mind as you're listening or reading anything about astrology and where the moons and all of that stuff is. Everybody feels it uniquely, okay? But this is, again, just an overall kind of energy reading just to get you guys prepared. All right, so first of all, the parts of the body that are associated with Aries are the head, teeth, tongue, and arteries. So certainly be extra cautious of those areas of your body. Take caution against injury, illness, things like that. Now, we do want to, I want to highlight all the major aspects and the minor ones that are good and challenging, other than, of course, the sun and the moon, which is always in opposition on a full moon. That's to be expected, but there's a balance with that, right? Those opposite of signs, they usually do kind of get a balance. And that's why I call my Aries full moon blend Harmonize, because we're in the balance and the beauty and the harmony of Libra season, and then the Aries energy to kind of help bring that forward. A little bit impatient energy Aries has, but for the most part in really good aspect with Libra, even when in opposition as over the full moon, okay? But we do have another major challenge here, and this is between Pluto. It has to do with Pluto, and we will get into that in a little while, but let's jump right in. So first of all, the sun and the moon are opposite each other. They are also square Jupiter, okay? So this is going to be a challenge with opportunities. We're going to be feeling generous and adventurous, but we don't want you to overdo it or do it only for like recognition and praise. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. So certainly, if you're experiencing the overwhelming emotions of this full moon, do not try to give too much of yourself. You're only going to end up feeling either exhausted or maybe even taken advantage of. So just take the time to like fill your own cup over this full moon, okay? Now we do have Mercury and Scorpio. There are no aspects here, which is probably a good thing. So Mercury and Scorpio energy is definitely drawn to the mysterious. It's drawn to transformation and uncovering secrets. The ability to sense others' emotions and thoughts are definitely highlighted here. And there are healing gifts. But I just gotta say, no, I'm sorry, there are aspects with Mercury and Scorpio. I was thinking about Mars. We're going to get to that in a minute. So there is a square here with Pluto and Aquarius. Now, this is one of our major challenges that I just mentioned. This is really going to feel intense and emotionally charged, okay? All of our interactions are going to feel like emotionally charged. We want to guard against overly fixating on discovering hidden information. Don't dig into other people's business and issues unless they share with you. Also, you want to guard against mental exhaustion due to over analysis. Mercury in Scorpio is always like thinking about hidden stuff, what's below the surface. Like that can really exhaust your brain. So just try to chill. It can be good energy to work on your own inner stuff. So do that over this full moon. Now Venus is in Virgo, which it was, and it's a pretty good spot for Venus to be. There is a sextile with Jupiter, which this is a minor good influence. This is going to kind of help buffer social situations with the charm, kindness, and warmth, okay? But there is an opposition with Saturn. This is a bit of a minor challenge. This is going to bring about conflict between longing for closeness and close bonds and fear of vulnerability. Now, we kind of dealt with this over the last new moon. There's a fear, almost a feeling that love might mean extra responsibility or sacrifice or losing oneself. So to overcome that, to work with this kind of little bit of a challenge, we really want to meditate and reflect on self-love and self-care, and like just reassuring yourself like you are worth it. Take care of yourself. If you are starting to feel like giving too much is draining you, then give back to yourself. Okay, again, we can't pour from an empty cup. Now here we go with Mars and Scorpio. Again, no aspects. And like I said, this is probably a good thing because this planet, Mars, is intense. This sign, Scorpio, is intense. Okay, Mars is actually a co-ruler of Scorpio. So the key words with this placement are intense, magnetic, control, drive, intimidation, extremism, or just extreme energy. Okay, so that's why we kind of, with everything else going on in this chart, don't need any aspects to Mars in Scorpio, but we are still going to feel that energy a little bit. Okay, now Jupiter is in Cancer, and it is square the Sun and the Moon, which we already talked about. It is trine Venus, which we already talked about. It is, sextile Venus. It is trine Saturn and Pisces, which is a minor good influence here. We're blending innovation and growth with maturity and responsibility and wisdom. So this is a good energy aspect to take advantage of, to take time to prepare, to get ready for the next opportunity. Again, this full moon phase isn't really good for starting the next project or next opportunity, but prepare for it because it is coming. Yeah, and this is also not the time to rush. Just be methodical, be grounded in your approach to preparing for the next thing coming, okay? Saturn is in Pisces. Now, it is in opposition with Venus, which we talked about already. It is trine Jupiter, which we just talked about. We have a major good influence here because it's in sextile with Uranus and Gemini. So this is going to lend, and again, major good, pay attention. Excellent problem solving and blending progressive ideals with structure and a steady, grounded work ethic. Okay, so again, grounding, preparing, steady, focused, but also helping along those wonderful progressive ideals and excitement. Okay, but again, we're preparing, so we're using this full moon phase to prepare. It might not exactly happen tomorrow or on Monday, right? So, or Monday or Tuesday, but soon. Practice patience too, please. A lot of these aspects are kind of, especially with that moon in Aries, lending us to be a little bit too impatient. We're tired of waiting. Well, it's not just waiting. You can work while you're waiting, right? And then we do have a conjunction with Neptune, so this might lend to a struggle of feeling overwhelmed. But also this is going to help us reinforce those healthy boundaries that will help with our emotional and mental clarity and to help us progress toward our goals. Okay. Now Uranus is in Gemini. This is a major good aspect. This is one of the three major good aspects of this, so I want you to pay attention. This is sextile Saturn, which we already talked about. This is sextile Neptune, so this is lending to creativity, spiritual and artistic expression. This is what we want to focus on over this full moon phase. And then there is a trine with Pluto, which is major, major good. This is bringing about that wisdom, clear sense of purpose, and support for change and transformation. And when I say clear sense of purpose, that means your own purpose. Focus on your own purpose. You can get support at this time with other like-minded people, okay? But it's bringing us wisdom and support for change, inner change and transformation. If you work collectively with others with the same goals, focus, and mindset, we can get a lot of good stuff done, okay? And then Neptune is in Aries. It is sextile Pluto in Aquarius. This is a long-lasting, major good aspect, okay? This is the best part, really, of this whole chart. It is subtle, but it's very powerful. And this is, again, bringing service through art, through spirituality. It's highlighting collective, peaceful healing and communion, right? And again, it does work easier if you're working with like-minded people with like-minded energy and goals. But that doesn't mean that you can't work with people that might not exactly have the same mindset or goals or ambitions or vision of what is really the best for, personal and collective goods. But we can still work with each other on it. We can still find the best part of each other and ourselves and some common grounds with this energy, okay? So that is the major takeaway. I want you, again, though, remember, it is going to feel intense. It's going to feel physically and emotionally draining, as most full moons do. So be careful, protect yourself, fill your cup, do your work, and then in a few days after this intense energy kind of dissipates a little bit, then we can move forward. All right, guys, take care. Have a great weekend. Oh, go birds. And till next time, blessed be.